So you voted for Obama both times
Yes, both times. And then I voted for Hillary
in 2016.
in 2016.
Okay, so you voted for Obama, and then who did you vote for in 2020?
I voted for Trump in 2020.
Okay. All right, guys, what is going on? It's Sarmo. I'm with my good friend JD, and JD's been a good friend of mine. We've worked a lot together when I lived in Los Angeles for seven or 8 years, and I'm a musician and music producer, and he'd be working with a lot of the music videos. So we've worked a lot together. But just to give a little his history, I'm going to read off your bio because it's very impressive.
Oh, thank you.
JD's a director, photographer, content creator, specializes in music videos and branding content. The artists he's worked for these are A-list artists: Usher, Pharrell, Chris Brown, Akon, and he's had his work all over various media outlets such as Times Square, which I wanted you to talk about that. That's pretty dope.
That's crazy.
The 2018 Winter Olympics. And also every single TV network you can think of. He's had the music videos. So how did Times Square? How did that happen?
I did a video for this African artist, and he had a few other featuring artists on the song. And it was like a low budget video. Like, we did it in a day. I think I had the video done in a week. Next thing I know, I got a call saying like, "Yo, the video's gonna be playing in Times Square." And I was like, "What do you mean it's gonna be playing in Times Square?" Like, I almost didn't take the job, but found out it was gonna be playing in Times Square. So I got on a flight and went to Times Square to see it. And I was like, there it was, like in the middle of Times Square.
That is so sick. So JD's been out living in LA for how many years now?
It'll be 9 this year.
9 years. And then so you reached out to me, or I saw an Instagram video on your story about a year ago, because I know you're a lifelong Democrat.
Yep.
We've had this conversation for years. We've talked about politics. We've had our differences when it comes to Trump, when it comes to Hillary, Obama, everything for years now.
Yep.
And then I remember maybe 6 months ago, I saw a post. I think you posted a Candace Owens video on your Instagram story.
It was last year. I was going through, I guess we'll call it a switch of the mind, switch of perspectives and everything like that. And I'll just say I woke up.
You woke up.
And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. And I was posting like just things that were not motivating, but they were like so eye-opening. There you go. They were so eye-opening to me. And Candace Owens was a person that I found out about. And I was like, who's this Candace Owens chick? And like, what is she talking about? And it was so against everything that I had thought and everything that I had been taught. But something about it was just like, I hear you though.
Yep.
I hear you.
So you voted for Obama both times?
Yes, both times. And then I voted for Hillary
in 2016.
In 2016.
Okay, so you voted for Obama, and then who did you vote for in 2020?
I voted for Trump in 2020.
Okay. What was that eye-opening point where you were like, hold on, like maybe what I've believed my entire life, because your entire family, you were raised in a Democratic family. You're raised in the black community, which majority of the black community is Democrat.
Yeah.
What was that? Can you pinpoint to what that switch was?
Yeah. So, I've always been a free thinker, and I've always just been like, okay, like I'm going to think for myself. With politics, I was just like, I don't care.
Right.
It's like, I'm so far removed from it. It has nothing to do with me. But hanging out with you, obviously, you being so pro-Trump and just being a political person, I was just at your house one day and we were watching Trump on TV, and that was like just a thing in itself.
And this is during while he's president. While he's president.
So we were watching. I don't think it was a State of the Union or anything, but he was doing something with press, and watched the whole thing through. And then we started watching like CNN and just other news outlets. And I noticed something on CNN where they edited something that he said. And I'm an editor, so I'm like, wait a minute. That's edited. And he didn't say that. Yeah. I just sat here and I watched this whole
How speech, they twisted it.
And I was just like, okay. But then that was like the thing that made me even consider.
Or question the media. The media's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's the point of lying on the president?
Yeah.
What's the point?
What ended up happening is you saw Trump speak. Mm-hmm. You saw his whole speech, because that's actually another thing that most people that judge Trump or say that Trump is racist, they've never seen
They never seen
the whole thing in context. I
posted a video of, you know when you post a video on Instagram on your stories, sometimes it's just a thumbnail. It's not, they don't play the video. So I posted a Trump video on my story, and I got so much hate. So much hate. And I was like, every person that responded, why would you post him? Why would you post him? I was like, did you watch the video? Why would I watch it? I was like, well, just to let you know, all he said was Happy Easter.
Damn.
I said, that's all he said. He was saying, Happy Easter, today is a day that Christians, blah, 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 blah. It had nothing to do with politics. Yeah. And you got so upset. And I was just like, that's like, just saying the name Trump or seeing his face triggers people. Because you're a videographer and editor, you saw how they edited and spliced his video to make a point that he didn't even make. Make him probably most likely look like a racist or a bigot or a sexist or whatever. Us basket of deplorables, as they call us. Which then that caused you to like, hold on, maybe the media is lying to us. And maybe everything they say is not telling the truth. Exactly. And that sent you down a rabbit hole. Yes. Just try to connect these dots for us. Like what was that rabbit hole? What was that search for truth look like for you? Yeah. So last year in 2020, obviously we all had a lot of time on our hands. Yeah. And I was just in my living room, and I had a neighbor who was a conservative send me, who's actually Mexican, by the way, conservative, and he sent me all these videos that I'm like, bro, I'm not watching this. I'm not going down that. He's like, dude, you seem like a very intelligent person. I'm just trying to give you information. Just take time and read it. Take time and watch. And one thing that really stuck out was a video from Charlottesville. Yes. When the classic. The classic. There were good people on both sides. And that was engraved in my head. Like, yo, like I can't believe this guy really said that. But granted, there's a whole clip, and this is where I get upset because I'm an editor. And I'm like, okay, look for the full clip. Yeah. It took me till 2020 to actually look for the full clip. Crazy. And seeing right after he said there were good people. I'm sure there were good people on both sides, but I'm not talking about the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis. Yes. They need to be condemned. Yes. And I was just like, why did they cut that out? Yep. So then I just went so deep. Everything that my neighbor sent me, I just watched and watched and watched. And this is what's called swallowing the red pill. The red pill. That's what this is called right now. And I was like, I'm 30 years old, and I was like, I'm finding out things about the party that I supported for the past 2-3 terms, and I'm just now finding out as a 30-year-old. Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like I got played, and that's one thing. One thing black people don't like is to get played. And it's like, as soon as you realize you're getting played, you're like, oh hell no! Like ain't nobody about to play me. Exactly. And I was sitting there like, I'm shocked. Like I'm literally shocked. Yeah. And that just kept going and going and going, and came all the way to the point where this summer I switched my party. And the media loves to portray that like Trump is the leader of the white race. Yeah. When like you have a Colombian and Greek, you have a black man discussing how we have not, like we've left the left and we are conservatives. Yeah. And the fact that, and we see it in record numbers. I mean, in 2020, Trump got the most black and Spanish Latino votes in the history of any Republican. And so but the media is trying to portray and gaslight us to believe that people aren't waking up. And it's actually their biggest fear, which is why I actually believe the reason why we have this crisis at the border is because they need millions of more people to come in that will vote for them, because they know, because listen, the issue at the border that's going on right now, and I know we're going off topic a little bit, but the issue that's at the border, it hurts black Americans and legal Latinos in the country. That's the direct people that it ends up hurting. Yeah. You've been opened up that the media is lying to you. Yeah. And now you're at a place where you voted for Trump in 2020. Sure did. He voted for Obama twice. And then he voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. This guy, when Trump won in 2016, tell me that story real quick. So I was sitting in my room, and at the time I lived in LA, and when Trump won, I was sitting in my room, And I went on YouTube and I just played the Purge soundtrack. And I was just like, yo, we are screwed. And I just kept it on repeat and on repeat and on repeat. But it's crazy, just to back up from that, it's like, why was my mind there?
Yeah.
When before he even ran for president, there was like everyone loved Trump.
Yep.
Every rapper, every person, like no one had a problem with him. Like
the media loved him. Like Snoop Dogg loved him.
Everyone loved him, but now everyone's against him, and I'm like, why though? And even to the point, by the time he had chosen to run, like midway through, I was convinced I already didn't like him.
Yeah.
But why?
Because we were gaslit by the
media. And I was like, this is insane.
Yep.
But I'm just now seeing this.
So you're just now seeing this. So what? Because one thing that, you know, for me personally, I haven't really come out, you know, with my friends. I've always been vocal about it, but on the internet and social media, because I work in the music industry myself. I lived in Los Angeles for the last 7 or 8 years, and living in LA and living in Hollywood and being a conservative it's almost impossible to. Yeah, it's a big no. You don't discuss it.
Yeah.
And so and the reason why I was scared to death of cancel culture.
Cancel culture is sadly real, I believe.
I mean, have you been nervous? Because I mean, how long are you going now on being a conservative?
Almost a year.
And you're just now
saying, like I would drop. Like I told
guys, this is his coming out party. Like this is his political coming out party.
I mean, just by seeing the reactions I got from like little things I posted last year, I'm like, oh, if I ever say anything, like people gonna get pissed. And in this industry, like especially in this industry and in this day and age where it's already hard to come by with work with the pandemic and everything, it's like the last thing I want to do is say something that I truly believe in.
Right.
But that's who I am. I'm gonna say what I truly believe. It's like if it messes with my pocket, you know, I have to believe in God to provide.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna just stay silent and fit in.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
like that's like even being like I would say a whack Christian. It's like you have to be bold and you have to be loud. So
you gotta stand for what you believe in.
Exactly, you have to. But I believe it's definitely a real thing, and it's sad that it is. It's like they're canceling Dr. Seuss. Like, how you gonna cancel Dr. Seuss?
Mr. Potato Head.
He's chilling, and it's like they're canceling all these these
Aunt Jemima,
like all these black foods and stuff, but Cracker Jacks are still up. It's like, come on, like look at this stuff. Wake up.
I know.
Like, it makes no sense.
So you would say that you probably wouldn't have come out to be a conservative if it wasn't for hearing voices like a Candace Owens.
Definitely not.
Or King Face.
Absolutely not. Just trying to be courageous. It's contagious, man.
Yeah.
It's just like
courage is contagious.
Courage is contagious.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like once I started learning more about like people like Candace Owens and going down that rabbit hole and finding out about people like Kingface and MAGA Hulk and like these guys and these women that are
you're seeing all these black men
like
and black women stepping up and being bold,
and they're so bold, and I'm just like, dang, like that's crazy. But like I read a quote saying it's not our jobs to wake up the sheeps, but it's our job to wake up the sleeping lions.
Hold on, say it again. Say that again.
It's not our job to wake up the sheep.
It's not our job to wake up the sheep.
But it's our job to wake up the sleeping lion.
Yes. Come on,
and bro. Honestly, I feel like they woke up a sleeping lion in me because, I mean, once they put it down in the way that they broke it down, I was like, I actually agree with what you're saying. And the more I looked at conservatism and the Republican Party, I'm like, well, that's who I am. It wasn't so this crazy thing that I was always taught it that it was. So.
Yeah. Who are you trying to reach?
Like I said before, it's definitely to awaken the sleeping lions out there.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing. But just people that are even questioning and obviously other
like you,
other black people, like other black people that look like me, other people that have these ideas but are afraid to say anything. We have been given the shorter end of the stick by always voting Democrat and having like this one way of thinking. And I think it's okay to think like this, and it's okay to have a discussion and speak. I think like the biggest issue is that we just have to be taught that it's okay to be different and have a different view of things. So basically, like, I grew up with two very loving parents. They always taught me.
You had a father in the home.
I had a father. Yeah, both my mom and my dad.
Yep.
And my parents are split up now, but I'm an adult. I'm 30.
Right.
But as a child, all the way up until college, I had both my parents in the home. And they taught me values. They taught me principles. They taught me to go after your dreams. They told me to work hard. When you work hard, things follow.
Yep.
And I just feel like having both parents, a mom for the sensitive side of myself, a man, my dad, a man to teach me a way
personal responsibility,
a way to be a man, way to provide. And I mean, I saw my parents open up 3 businesses as I was growing up. They opened businesses, seeing them like just do life the way that they did life. And like, I lived in the city. I lived in the ghetto, like all the way up until I was in the 3rd grade. My parents started businesses. We moved to the suburbs. And just seeing that, I knew the formula. I knew the steps I wanted to take.
So good.
And what I just knew what I needed to do to get where I wanted to be in life. So
good.
Yeah.
Outside of parent privilege, what would you say is another issue regarding, your community?
I would say, for some reason, we all feel this weird loyalty to always vote Democrat.
Why is that?
I don't, honestly. I wish I could tell you. Even growing up, like, and I wanna step back and say this is not me like trying to talk down to people,
right?
Because this is still all new to me as well. But I've always been curious. Even as a teenager, I asked my parents, like, actually before I voted for Obama, I was like, why are we voting Democrat? Like, why don't we vote Republican? And my mom said, oh, that's just what we vote. Like, we've always voted Democrat.
So it's kind of like a blind allegiance.
Yeah, and I don't know why. And I think that it's almost like you said, it's a blind allegiance that some people are like, oh, yeah, this is what we vote. And then as soon as, like, you're challenged to vote or look at a different view, aka Republican or even independent, whatever other party, it's like, oh, you're something else.
Yep.
And like, I've been called racist. I've been called Uncle Tom. I've been called a bigot. I'm like, yo, first of all, I'm black. Like, I am black.
Welcome to 2021.
I'm black. Like, let's relax here. But I don't know. I don't know like why we do that. But even if you want to vote Democrat, that's your thing. Like, go ahead, but at least do research and know the other side. Right.
And I want to put a plug for Candace Owens' book Blackout, which I think after you read this book, you're going to even have way more context, because this is you're in the 1 year of your journey of conservatism and kind of finding like, these are my values and I do align more over here.
Yeah.
Because I think once you start reading through her book, you're going to start realizing the history of what the welfare state has done to the black community and even the Latino community. Like, I mean, really, families that have learned to become dependent on the government and have encouraged the fathers in the home to not take up the personal responsibility to provide for the family, be there for their children. And that's why we have majority of immigrant families, people of color, the black community. We don't have our fathers in the home, which is why we have the issues of our youth and our children today. Yeah. So, bro, you did it. You're out. How does it feel?
Honestly, it feels like a big weight has been lifted.
It's a big weight.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's like I said earlier, like, doing this, it's like a blessing to do it, because I'm like, dude, like, I never thought I would say this in public.
So for the people that want to be able to use you for your work, they want to find you on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the hell it is. How do they get in touch with you?
You can find me anywhere at JD2 Pictures. My website is jd2pictures.com.
So the number two. James Davis, JD, the number two. Pictures.
jd2pictures.com. Everything is JD2 Pictures. You can find me anywhere with that. So.
Yeah, make sure if you guys ever need video work, if you guys need photography, hit this guy up.
I got you.
Because this dude is speaking his truth, and he's taking the fight of cancel culture head on. And so we want to make sure we support the people that believe in the same values. So,
appreciate it.
Awesome, bro. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
Speak truth.
Without fear.
Without fear.
Let's get it.